Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today, inshallah, our lesson is the slope of the straight line. At first, we will learn what the meaning of slope of straight line given 2 points on it. Please repeat the slope of straight line given the angle between the straight line and the positive direction of x-axis. Figure C, we know the relation between slope of two parallel and perpendicular straight lines. We learned that the slope of straight line AB, if A x1 y1 and B x2 y2, then if we draw the straight line A1 x1, point A x1 y1 and point B x2 y2, then we have straight line AB. Then the slope of the straight line equals the vertical change of y divided by horizontal change of x2 minus x1. Then if A equals 2 and 2, for example, and B equals -2 and 0, then M equals, yes, we can consider A x1 y1, B x2 y2, or vice versa. Then M equals 2 minus 0 divided by 2 minus -2 equals 2 divided 2 minus positive 2 equals 4. Then the slope equals 1/2 equals half. Sorry. Remark, if L parallel to x-axis, we have straight line parallel to x-axis, then the slope equals 0. Then the slope equals 0. If L parallel to y-axis, then the slope is undefined. Sorry. Then the slope is undefined. Again, if the straight line parallel to x, then the slope equals 0. If the straight line perpendicular to x-axis or parallel to y, then the slope undefined, because the denominator will be equal 0, then the slope is undefined. If L makes acute angle, straight line make acute angle with the positive direction of the x-axis, then the slope will be more than 0. If L makes obtuse angle with, yes, with the positive direction with x-axis, then the slope must be negative, less than 0, and vice versa. If we have slope equals negative number, then it means the angle which makes this straight line with the positive direction with x-axis will be obtuse angle. Question number 1. If we have AB is a straight line parallel to y-axis where A equals x and 7, B equals 3 and 5, find the value of x. At first, we have in the given AB parallel to y-axis. It means the slope is undefined. Undefined, we consider it equals 1/0. Find the slope y2 minus y1 divided x2 minus x1, then 7 minus 5 divided by x minus 3 equals 1/0. We set fraction equals a fraction directly, cross multiplication, then x minus 3 equals 7 minus 5 divided times 0 equals 0, then x equals 3. Question number 2. If AB is parallel to x-axis, where A equals 5, -4, and B equals -2, and y minus 1, find the value of y. In the given here, we have AB is parallel to x-axis, the first step. Then the slope of AB equals 0. The slope of AB equals 0 because the vertical change of y equals 0. 0 divided by any number equals 0, then the slope equals 0. Find the slope from the 2 points A and B. Then y minus 1 minus -4 positive 4 divided by -2 minus 5 equals 0. Any fraction equals 0, it means its numerator equals 0, then y minus 1 plus 4 y plus 3 equals 0, then y equals y equals -3. then y equals negative 3. Okay. The slope of the straight line giving its angle with positive direction with x-axis. If we have a straight line and this straight line makes theta, angle theta with the positive direction with x-axis, and the straight line we have 2 points on it, a and b, x1, y1, x2, y2. Then the slope of straight line AB makes theta with the opposite direction with x-axis, and we have here theta equal theta corresponding because this line is parallel to this line. Then the slope equals the vertical change over horizontal change. It will be equal BC over AC, BC over AC. It means equals BC over AC from trigonometry. We know that opposite over adjacent equals tan theta equals tan theta, because vertically change y2 minus y1. y2 minus y1 give BC divided x2 minus x1. x2, here we have x2 minus x1, it will be, yes, AC. BC represent opposite side to the angle theta, and AC represent adjacent side to the angle theta. Then we have opposite divided by adjacent from trigonometry equals, yes, tan theta, tan theta. Then the slope of this straight line equals tan tangent of the angle which this straight line makes with the positive direction of x-axis. For example, find the slope of straight line which makes an angle of measure 45 with the positive direction of x-axis. Directly, the slope equals tan theta equals tan 45. By using your calculator, then the slope equals 1. Find the measure of the positive angle which the straight line makes with the positive direction with x-axis. If the straight line L passes through the 2 points 4, -1 and 5, -3. We said that the slope of straight line equals tan theta, which theta is the angle which this straight line makes with the positive direction of x-axis. Yes, then to find the measure of the positive angle, we must find the slope. How can I find the slope? We have 2 points. Then the slope of the straight line equals y2 minus y1 divided x2 minus x1 equals -2. The slope equals the -2. Then -2 equals tan theta. How can I find theta? Then using your calculator and write theta equals shift tan, right? Shift tan on your calculator -2. Then theta equals -63 degree 26 minutes. This angle negative. Now I want to find the positive angle with the straight line which was the positive direction is x-axis. Then we will add 183. Yeah, sorry, you add 180. Or we can add 360. 180, then the positive equals 116. Then if we have the measure of the angle was negative, then we add 180 to this angle to find the positive measure of this angle. The relation between two slopes of two straight line. If we have two straight lines, L1 make theta 1 and L2 make theta 2 with positive direction of x-axis. L1 parallel to L2, then theta 1 equals theta 2, corresponding angles. Yes, then tan theta 1 equals tan theta 2, then the slope of the first m1 equals the slope of the second, or we can write it m1 minus m2 equals 0. Then if we have two straight lines are parallel, then their slope are equals, or we can write it as m1 minus m2 equals 0, and vice versa. If we have m1 equals m2, it means the two straight lines are parallel. Prove that the straight line which passes through the 2 points 2, 3, and negative 1, 6 is parallel to the straight line which makes with the positive direction of x-axis angle its measure 135. Prove that this straight line is parallel to the straight line. Then we must find the slope of the first and the slope of the second. The slope of the first m1, we have 2 points. How can I find the slope if we have 2 points? Yes, 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 yes. Change of y divided by change of x, then equals m1 equals negative 1. Find the slope of the second m2. We have the angle tan theta. Direct tan theta, tan this angle. Tan theta equals tan 155 equals negative 1. Then we find m1 equals m2. It means that the two straight lines are parallel. Prove that the points A negative 1, 4, B negative 2 and 2, and C negative 3, 0 are collinear. Collinear means the 3 points must lie in the same straight line. Then we can find the slope of AB, which equals 2, and also find the slope of BC, which also equals 2. Since the slope of AB equals the slope of BC and we have B common between them, common point between them, AB, BC, it means that AB is parallel to BC. Then then ABC are collinear. Again, we must at first find the slope of AB equals 2 and the slope of BC equals also 2. It means that the two straight lines are parallel. Are, yes, are parallel. Special case, are parallel. And we have P common letter or common point between them. It means that the 3 points are collinear. If A, B, C are collinear, find the value of A where A, B, and C. So first, find the slope of AB equals 3 minus 1 divided A minus 0. The slope of AC equals 5 minus 1 divided 2 minus 0. The slope of AB equals the slope of AC. Why I miss? Because he said that A, B, and C are collinear. Then the slope of AB equals the slope of AC. Fraction equals a fraction. Directly cross multiplication. Then 2 divided A equals 4 divided by 2. Then 2 equals 2 times 2 divided by 4 equals 1. The relation between two slopes of two perpendicular straight lines, if we have two lines, L1 and L2, and the angle between them equals 90, then we can say that m1 times m2 equals negative 1, or we can write it m1 equals negative 1 divided by m2, or m2 equals negative 1 divided by m1, and vice versa. It means if the product of the two slopes equals negative 1, it means that the two straight lines are perpendicular. If the two straight lines are perpendicular, it means that the product of their slope equals negative 1. Prove that the straight line which is passing through the 2 points is perpendicular to the straight line which makes with the positive direction of x-axis positive angle its measure 30 degree. At first, we must find the slope of the first straight line and the slope of the second straight line. Then we find m1 equals, yes, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, and you can consider any point of them x1, y1, x2, y2 as you like. Then we have m1 equals, you can using your calculator to find the final result, negative root 3. Find the m to the slope of the second straight line equals tan theta. m2 equals tan 30. Tan 30 equals 1 over root 3. I want to prove that the two straight lines are perpendicular. There, if m1 times m2 equals the negative 1, it means L1 perpendicular to L2. Multiply m1 by m2. We can write since m1 times m2 equals negative 1, or we can write m1 equals negative 1 divided by m2. Both of them, right. Then L1 divided L1 is perpendicular to L2. Then at first we find the m1 change of y divided by change by x equals negative root 3. m2 tan theta. Tan theta equals, then m1 times m2 equals negative 1, or write m1 equals negative 1 divided m2, or you can write m2 equals negative 1 divided by m2. It means the two straight lines are perpendicular. Thank you for listening. Try to solve more exercise.